House of Flying Daggers is the 2004 follow-up to director Zhang Yimou's Hero. It is a brilliantly made film about two government soldiers tasked with finding the base of a secret group of rebels called the Flying Daggers. When they discover that a blind girl who works at a local brothel is in fact a member of this rebellion, one of the two men is sent undercover to seduce her in the hopes that she will eventually lead him back to the Flying Daggers headquarters. As the film goes on, we eventually learn that no one is really who they appear to be. Leo, the committed soldier loyal to his government, as well as to his best friend Lin, is in fact a mole planted by the Flying Daggers as part of a plan to lead the government army into an ambush. Lin, a womanizer with a carefree spirit, also loyal to his government, ultimately turns out to be a man of honour who chooses the love of one woman over all else. Perhaps the most interesting character of all is that very woman. Zhao Mei, a blind dancer, often seems to be at the mercy of the men that surround her, but by the time we get to the final act of the film, we learn she's not even blind. She has been playing Lin for a fool. What's more, once we get to the base of the Flying Daggers, it's interesting to note that they mostly appear to be women, with the exception of Leo. When we learn that Leo himself has been in love with Mei for many years, it forces the three characters into a final showdown, in which vengeance, love, and ultimately sacrifice are all demonstrated on the battlefield. Traditionally, the element of sacrifice in any given story is made by the male hero, but in Yimou's film, it is Mei who finally gives her life to end the struggle and save the life of the one that she loves. Yimou uses the women in House of Flying Daggers to highlight the importance of women in society. Due to the one-child law in China at the time the film was made, it has been often reported that there has been a significant ratio increase in the mortality rate of young girls to boys. Men are much more likely to get higher paying jobs in China and thereby provide a more stable future for families in which the elderly are outnumbering the younger members by at least 2 to 1. All of this factors into the argument that can easily be made for women being presented as second-class citizens in China. Yimou uses a film like House of Flying Daggers to make a political and personal statement, calling on China to recognise the value of its female citizens. It's interesting to note that Yimou himself holds the record for the highest single penalty to be given to someone for breaking the one-child law. In 2014, he was forced to pay 7.5 million yen, that's approximately 1.2 million US dollars, for having had a third child with his wife. While this took place 10 years after the release of Flying Daggers, it's important to note that Yimou already had 2 children and a third on the way before the release of the film. So it's not hard to imagine his personal and political position that influenced it, especially given the eldest of his children is female. In the final scene of Flying Daggers, Mei is forced to choose between taking her own life in order to save the life of the man she has come to love, or letting him die so that she may live. Yimou's film shows us that Mei really has no choice at all, and so he lives, she dies.